But for me, I wanted to challenge the conference, the fourth or fifth edition of UDF discussions, to specifically focus on this factor of land as a factor of production, and we see how we shall remove the distortions from that factor so that we are able to utilize it maximally. Because when you read what Dr. Amanda talks about, she says there is shortage, so we must do something. Then Vincent says we must do something, but we shouldn't touch land for conservation. Then these agencies which are holding land in trust on behalf of government are not maximizing the usage. And sometimes they are the ones who create conflicts on those lands. And then this Kampala city, Kampala, who owns land in Kampala, is a very interesting subject, which I think really needs to be studied, needs to be funded and studied. Then I will ask Engineer Chibuka, who is present there. He is my specialist on the conflicting of lands, especially that one of Kapeeka. If he is given time, he is going to give you insights. That is what I wanted to discuss, because even in northern Uganda right now, the issue is land. The conflict between the Achodis and the what they call Valaro, or what we call migrant cattle keepers, is about land. So the keynote address, I think, is going to be given by Dr. Suruma, who was my leader when I was at the Ministry of Finance. And I think he is going to articulate all the other issues related to our attempt to reach out to the moneyless people. In the last 10 years, I have led a mission called OWC. It has not been a very easy mission, because we were told to go and look for people who have never touched money. 68%. We struggled with inputs, with coffee, with tea, with all those inputs over that period. And statistically, they say we were able to reduce the people outside the money economy from 68% to about 39%. And recently, I hear even the poverty levels have gone even lower. So, dear participants and discussants, I request that you focus on the stimuli packages that were used, but you also help us to understand the land use balance sheet. Because if we do that, I think we shall devise means on how to utilize maximally that resource. Because the land is where minerals are best, land is where homesteads are best, that's where factories are best. So if it remains as distorted as it is today, that will not help us to achieve the 500-fold, 50-fold or 500? 50-fold, 10-fold growth. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you help me to answer that question and listen carefully to the rest of the presenters, we shall produce a very big report out of this conference, and it will be helpful to us to look into the future. Because we have been discussing with the academia, with the private sector, with the ordinary mwananchi, and we are just trying to put together the economic history of Uganda, and it is very, very interesting, because from what we have been able to read, the first development plan of Uganda as a protectorate was 1946. Now, 40 years later, in 1986, that is when NRM came to power, and they hired some experts under the IDRC, International Development Research Center from Canada. And as Chairman Mao said at that time, if you look at the list of cabinet ministers who were the first cabinet of our liberation, 60% 60% of them were from DP. So I have been arguing with Chairman Mao, what caused the divorce? Because the divorce happened when I was here in Gulu, 1996. But I think Chairman Mao is the one who causes that divorce, because that time he was really like fire. And I don't know whether he will agree with me. But now, 2022, we went back into an alliance with them, which was very, very good for me, because for me, I never liked the separation of those people whom we had worked with for 10 concrete years. And in those 10 years when we were working together, I think that's when Uganda was recording double-digit growth. But when we started fragmenting, that's when we got a lot of issues. So he's my vice chairperson in UDF, in think tanking, and we are doing very good work. So I wish him the best in his delegates conference. And I want to thank the Minister of Finance. I want to thank the Uganda Development Corporation and all the agencies that have supported OWC to get to the ordinary mwananchi. We are very excited that we participated in this revolution of reducing the people who are outside the money economy, and we hope we can completely eliminate it in the next 5 to 10 years. Thank you very much for listening to me. I'm sorry I couldn't come to Kampala because Kampala is a bit troubled. So Gulu is more calmer than Kampala. That's why I stay in Gulu. It has a calmer atmosphere. And I invite all of you that the next conference that we are going to hold should be held in Gulu here. Thank you very much for listening to me. I wish you all the best. Thank you.